Hello and welcome to my anime channel. So today we've got a brand new card which is coming out of Animation Chronicles, and it's a very surprising pick. Definitely not something I would have considered to be mainstream or being introduced. This is Yowie. It's a level 3 Earth attribute reptile type effect monster with 500 attack and defense. You can only use this card's name's effect once per duel. You can only special summon monsters once the turn you activate this effect. 1. If this card is summoned and no other cards are summoned at the same time, you can skip your opponent's next draw phase. Now, what I find interesting about this card is, again, people are using it like very much the Yatagarasu lock, which means that, when it did battle damage, your opponent could never draw into another card, and then they'd slowly deplete all their resources, not being able to get anything, and be at a point where they just have to either scoop or just face defeat as a result. This provides a one-time advantage of that, and it's not something that can be repeated. It's a once per duel effect, it's not a once per turn effect, which I suppose to an extent is probably a good thing. If that had the continuous ability to do that, even if it had just been once per turn, it would just be too annoying to deal with. There is another card that actually has a similar type of effect, which is called Time Seal. It's basically a trap that does the exact same thing. It stops your opponent from being able to draw on their next turn, but that's been banned for the longest time. It's never going to see re-release, or it would need to have a significant errata before they could actually justify bringing it back. Potentially in the future it might get like a retrain, a new version, but actually a retrain which is a bit weaker to it. The interesting thing to note about this card is it has actually been shown within the anime. If you think back to Duelist Kingdom, the Noah arc, which is to do with the Big Five, Gansley was the person who faced off against Yowie, and he was dressed as Deep Sea Warrior. His deck focused on his Deckmaster's special ability to tribute two monsters to reflect the opponent's monster's attack back at them, so they would get hit with their own monster's attack, which meant he would take however much attack that would be. So from something like Celtic Guardian, that would be 1400 attack. From Chimera, King of Mythical Beasts, that would be 2100 attack. Dark Magician, that would be 2500 attack, and so on. There were a few monsters that he used. Not all of them have actually been introduced. In fact, I think there's only one other one that has. Its name is Hyperia, and that has the ability when it's summoned to let you draw a card. Its effect lets you do that once per turn, so it's not overly broken, but it's actually a decent effect nonetheless. This is quite decent as a one-of, but obviously just as a one-of. It's also another monster that has the same stat lineup as Hyperia, and the ability is quite an amazing one actually. I love the design of the card, and I can see some niche uses for it. It's definitely going to be one of those annoying cards that if you can draw into, will definitely punish your opponent, and I could see it being one of the quote-unquote money cards. What do you guys think of this card? Is it something you're looking to pick up? Is it something you think is a good effect? Or do you think maybe it's just not worth the deck space? Whatever you think, leave those comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily anime content.